The very first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishada. Vishada means grief. Vishada means sorrow. Vishada stands for depression and crisis. Throughout the first chapter of the Gita, surprisingly, Krishna remains silent. In spite of Krishna not speaking throughout the first chapter of the Gita, the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, is still considered a samvada, a Krishna-Arjuna samvada, a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Even though Arjuna alone speaks throughout the chapter is still considered a dialogue and not a monologue. Arjuna is in a crisis, but he knows that Krishna will help him. He knows that Krishna will enable him to get out of this crisis. This deep trust that Arjuna has enables him to express himself fully from the core of his being. When Arjuna is speaking, Krishna listens and his presence is total. His attention is 100%. There's a very important learning here for us. Many a times, we are proud of our multitasking capability, but we fail to bring our total attention to one task or one person at any given point in time. It is very important to understand that when the presence is total, when attention is 100%, the effects can be astounding. Words are not required in these situations. Therefore, it appears that Arjuna is speaking throughout the first chapter of the Gita, and Krishna is listening, and his total presence impacts every word that Arjuna speaks. And therefore, the first chapter of the Gita, like every other chapter, is a Krishna-Arjuna samvada. But what is more interesting is that Vishada can also be yoga. How can Vishada be yoga? What is yoga? Yujyate anena iti yogaha. Yoga is that which joins. Classically, yoga means union. Yoga is the spiritual aspiration of every Jivatma for communion with the Paramatma. Yoga is the means to the goal. Yoga also means growth. Therefore, the view that the first chapter of the Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, presents is that in every crisis, there is a hidden opportunity for growth. In every crisis, there is a hidden opportunity for growth. It seems there was this daughter who approached her father and said, "Hey father, I have given up on life. I am fatigued facing crisis after crisis." And her father happened to be a chef. He took his daughter to the kitchen, took 2 pots of water and started to boil the water. And then he put in one pot a carrot and in the other some coffee beans. After a while, he poured the contents into 2 bowls and asked his daughter to go ahead and feel the carrot and taste the coffee beans. The confused daughter went ahead and she noted that the carrot was soft And as she sipped the coffee, she winced. It was strong and rich. She looked at her father and said, "Father, what's going on?" And her father explained, "My dear child, both of these faced the same adversity, 100 degrees centigrade of boiling water. But both reacted differently. The carrot was hard, strong, unrelenting. Sitting in the boiling water, it became soft, weak. Whereas, sitting in the same boiling water, the coffee beans became strong, rich, fragrant. What would you like to be? The carrot or the coffee beans? Would you like to be the carrot, which was strong, hard, unrelenting, but faced with an adversity became weak, soft? Or would you like to be the coffee beans, which got better and tastier and richer when faced with adversity? Sitting in boiling water, as the water boiled and became hotter, it just got better. What would you like to be? The carrot or the coffee beans? Crisis, after all, is just another situation. How do you manage an adversity? How do you manage a crisis? Only when we know that our ultimate destiny is bigger than the biggest adversity. A Vishada is an opportunity for growth. A Vishada can be an opportunity for growth only when we realize our spiritual essence and recognize our two-dimensional existence. We are eternal spiritual beings trapped in an embodiment. We are eternal spiritual beings in a temporary material body. Wishing away problems, expecting that one can escape from problems, expecting that there should be no problems, is like expecting that a desert can be without heat. To solve all problems in life, one needs to only solve one problem, the underlying problem of material consciousness. Crisis, after all, is just another situation. And while situations are not in our control, our responses definitely are very much in our control. And when we recognize our limited capabilities and our helplessness, recognizing our limited capabilities and our helplessness in dealing with the impermanence of life, in dealing with any crisis, surrender to Krishna, then we let the universal energy work with us, work through us, and enable us face the fragility of life without becoming fragile. Any crisis can be transformed. A crisis can lead to a metamorphosis, provided we surrender to Krishna, just like how Arjuna did in chapter 2 of the Gita. When we surrender, our heart cannot be cut asunder. Karpanya dosho upahata swabhaha prachami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yashreyahasyan nishchitam bruhitam me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam, declares Arjuna in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. Hey Krishna, I am bewildered, I am confused. Because of my miserable state of mind, I do not understand what is right and what is wrong. I do not understand Dharma, my duty. Therefore, hey Krishna, accept me as your disciple. I surrender to you. This ardent submission of Arjuna leads to Krishna's profound teaching. Thus, when Arjuna, who was in an abysmal state of sorrow, surrenders to Krishna, the Gita journey begins. A glorious journey that transforms Arjuna's breakdown into an extraordinary breakthrough. Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu.